Hey traders, Gavin McMaster here from Options Trading IQ, back with another Barchart collaboration. In my last two videos on gamma exposure, we spent a lot of time on the theory, what gamma is, how the flip point works, what put walls and call walls mean for price behavior, and the response to those videos has been incredible. They've actually become two of the most viewed videos on the Barchart YouTube channel. But the question I keep getting is, okay Gavin, I understand the concept, but how do I actually use this to make real trades? So that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. We're going to look at the Barchart gamma exposure tool, and we're going to look at two real stocks with very different gamma setups. And I'm going to walk you through every step of how I build a trade around what I'm seeing. The strategy, the strikes, the expiration, and most importantly, the trade management plan. So today's video is going to show you exactly what a process-driven trading plan actually looks like. So let's get into it. Just a quick reminder that everything discussed is for educational purposes only and is general in nature. Firstly, just a real quick refresher for anyone who hasn't seen the previous two videos. And I do mean really quick because today's all about the application of the gamma. Because I want today to be all about finding the actual trades. But just quickly, gamma exposure or GEX tells us how market makers are likely to hedge their positions based on the underlying option position that's outstanding and open in the market. When a stock is above a gamma flip point, market makers buy when price falls and they sell when the stock rises. And that has a stabilizing effect on the price of the stock. Volatility stays low, prices tend to stay pretty range bound. And as option sellers, that's exactly the type of environment that we want. When a stock drops below the flip point, the exact opposite happens. Market makers have to sell when the stock drops and they have to buy when the stock rallies. So that amplifies the moves in both directions and volatility picks up and things can get pretty ugly pretty fast. It's a very dangerous environment for option sellers and a potentially rewarding one for long volatility trades. Then we've also got put and call walls, and these are strike prices with very large open interest that can act as price magnets, and then potentially they could also be support and resistance once price gets to those levels. So that's a quick framework. Now let's go and see how it plays out with two real stocks at the moment. Let's start with MSTR, because before we look at what a good gamma setup looks like, I want to show you one that should really stop you in your tracks as an options seller. So MSTR is sitting at 117, it was down 8% today, and the gamma flip point is above where the stock is trading. So it's in negative gamma territory. And we can see where the stock's trading, we're in negative gamma, and we've got lots of these yellow bars on the downside. So there's lots of put open interest, and we're clearly in a negative gamma environment. So with MSTR down 8% today, that kind of makes sense because of that negative gamma. As the stock started to sell off, market makers had to continue to sell the stock to maintain their hedges, and that amplified the move. The initial selling started to create more selling. The move fed on itself and it accelerated. So that's the negative gamma feedback loop that you can see in real time on this particular stock. Now we've also got a put wall at 120 and a call wall up at 125. So with the gamma flip point at 120 and the put wall at 120, that could provide some significant resistance now that the stock is below those levels. And if the stock does get a little bit of a bounce, it might really struggle to get above that 120 level. The other practical takeaway is that if we were looking at selling puts on MSTR to generate some premium, I definitely wouldn't be doing that. In a negative gamma environment with the stock already in a downtrend, you're fighting against pretty strong structural forces in the market. And if you really wanted to take exposure to MSTR, I definitely wouldn't be doing it by selling puts. I would use a bull put spread, something that's defined risk, or even better yet, look elsewhere. There's lots of better options for selling premium. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to look at a different example that has much better gamma structure. So if we're looking at Apple, you can see a really clear difference here. The stock's trading at 290. The gamma flip point is way down at 263.31. So that gives us over 27 points of buffer above the flip point. And the stock is sitting comfortably in positive gamma territory, deep in this green zone. Lots of blue bars here, lots of open interest in the calls. Look at the aggregate gamma curve as well. It's very strongly positive where the stock's trading. And you can see open interest peaks around this 300 level and the aggregate gamma exposure peaks around 320. So market makers are clearly long gamma here, which means they're going to be buying the dip and they're going to be selling any rallies. So that's going to have a dampening or stabilizing effect on the stock price. And that's a beautiful setup for option sellers. Now there's a big call wall here at 300 because of all that open interest at that $300 level. Now that's significant because firstly, it's a big round number. So 300 on Apple is very psychologically important to a lot of market participants. And with that really large open interest, as the stock price approaches 300, market makers are going to have to sell stock to hedge their exposure, and that could create a bit of a resistance point. So the stock might be drawn towards that 300 level like a bit of a magnet, but it could really struggle to get through that level. The other thing I want to highlight here is the volatility picture. We've got an IV rank of 48. For a stock with positive gamma that should show fairly low volatility or stable prices from here, that's a pretty high IV rank. So for me, that means it's a great potential setup for selling options. We've got a structurally calm environment with gamma working in our favor. Earnings are on July 30th, so we know we can trade that July 17th expiration without taking any earnings risk. All right, let's go and have a look at how we might set up the trade. Given what the gamma chart's telling us with positive gamma, reasonably high IV rank, and that call wall at 300 potentially acting as resistance, and the flip point at 263 potentially providing a bit of a floor, I would definitely look at an iron condor. An iron condor profits when the stock stays within a defined range and volatility remains low. This gamma picture is providing the structural justification for both of those conditions. So let's go and look at setting up a condor trade. Go over here to condor strategies and then to short iron condor. First thing I want to do is change our expiration date to the main monthly expiration, July 17th. Actually, before I do that, what I want to do is go and look at the option prices. And I want to find the calls that are trading around a 15 delta. And that's trading at 315, so that's well above that 300 strike that we were looking at. So that gives us a little bit of a buffer on the call side. On the put side, roughly 15 delta is around 265, which was right around where that gamma flip point is. So again, that could provide a little bit of potential resistance. So I want to structure the condor with the short strikes at 265 on the puts and 315 on the calls. So let's go to our condors. Short iron condor. And we're already on that expiration. Now I want leg 2 to be the short put strike of 265. And I usually like to go $5 wide. So I'm going to be looking at the 265, 260 strikes. And then on the call side, 310 or 315. So if I click on the diagram here, it'll give us a little preview of the condor. That looks really good to me. We're generating $81 in potential profit over 419 of risk. Typically with a condor, I want to get around about a 20% return potential. So we're sitting right around that level of about 20%. We're pretty well centered as well. We've got about $25 to the short strike on the downside and also about $25 to the short call on the upside. So that's the setup that I'm going to look at. Now, I do like to say that getting into the trade is the easy part. It's what comes next that's hard. So let's talk a little bit about trade management. Entering a trade without a plan is just hope. Every time we enter a trade, you want to try and take out as many of the decisions as you can. You want to have everything planned in advance so that there's no emotional decisions made later on. So there's 4 main conditions that I want to look at with this trade after it's been placed. The first is the profit target. For me, if an iron condor reaches 50% of the maximum profit, I'm going to close it out. That's a pretty hard rule. I don't ride it into expiration. The final 50% of profit on an iron condor carries disproportionately more risk, and gamma starts to bite as you get closer to expiration as well. So taking 50% off the table early is how you build a consistent win rate over time. That's rule number 1. Number 2 is a time stop. So we're starting this trade around 38 days to expiration, or DTE. If we get down to around 14 to 21 DTE and the position hasn't hit the profit target yet, I'm going to look to start getting out of that trade. Definitely once we get down around 14 and especially 10 DTE, I want to reduce that gamma risk. Once a trade gets closer to expiration, it becomes a lot harder to manage. So I'd rather close it out for a smaller profit or even a small loss than carry that elevated risk into the final week to 10 days. The third criteria is a price stop. So we're generating about $81 in credit. I don't want to lose more than about 1.5 times that credit. So if I'm sitting on a loss on the trade of about $120, that's a pretty hard line in the sand for me, and I'm going to close it out. Where a lot of people go wrong is they let a small loss turn into a big loss. So definitely having a price stop based on the premium that was received. And again, 1.5 times the premium is a pretty good stop loss for an iron condor. And the fourth thing I like to do is set adjustment points. So if none of those 3 criteria have been hit, I'm still in the trade. but I want to take some action before it gets too close to my short strikes. So for me, I'll set these adjustment points and I'll set them halfway between where the stock is currently trading and the short strikes. And if we go back to our Condor setup, remember there was about $25 between the current stock price and the short put strike. So I would set my price alert about $12.50 below the current price. So roughly 277.50 on the downside and 302.50 on the upside. I always want to take some action before we get too close to the short strike. I don't want to just continue holding this if Apple keeps rallying, gets past that call wall, gets past some resistance. I don't want to just leave this trade sitting here. I want to do some adjustments. So keep those 4 criteria in mind anytime you're doing a iron condor. All right, let's wrap it up and bring together what we talked about today on the video. So MSTR was the first one we looked at. It was below its flip point. Negative gamma was dominant. It was down 8% today. And the feedback loop did exactly what the theory predicts. The stock drops and then it continues dropping hard once it gets past that flip point. And this is definitely a stock to avoid as a premium seller because of that negative gamma. Whereas we had Apple, which was well above the flip point of 263. It had really strong positive gamma, a reasonably high IV rank, and a strong structural call wall at the 300 strike. So a really good example for an iron condor trade with a clear structural range that we're looking at. And most importantly, we built a management plan with 3 predefined exit conditions and we set our adjustment points. So we don't just get into the trade and blindly hope that it's going to work out. We have it all mapped out in advance. And that's the whole process. So make sure you're checking Barchart's gamma exposure tool before you put on your next options trade. It might help you avoid getting into a bad trade. It only takes a couple of minutes and it could really help you avoid a situation like MSTR. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a great day.